welcome in. And today I'm going to describe to you how I would rework Rocket Raccoon to be more versatile and overall be a much more influential part of a battle other than his current playstyle right now. Now, before I actually begin saying the changes that I would put in the rework right now, I just want to say I know this won't be in the game. The numbers might not be perfect right now, but those are not really important to the idea. The idea is, well, the idea itself is what will Rocket Raccoon be after this rework. The numbers may be skewed, whether he's overpowered or underpowered in this. We will never fully know unless he's actually implemented in the game like this, which he will never do. So don't judge it based off the stats and the healing, the damage. Those are just bonuses. Judge this based off of the idea itself, mechanics itself, the rework itself. Now, getting that out of the way, let's get straight into this. The Rocket Raccoon rework. Here are the core changes. He keeps his mobility, his dashes, and resurrection beacon. It removes his right-click healing and replaces that right-click healing with a creation system which I made, and his primary fire is reworked. Now, going into his primary fire, it's now a projectile that's delayed. Its speed is 80 meters per second, so like Squirrel Girl. Just imagine that, and that's what Rocket's new primary is. He has 8 rounds per reload. The damage is 30 direct hit, 20 splash. Healing is 30 direct and 20 splash. Now, upgrading with Scrap, which I will get into a little later, those can both go into 35 damage directly and 25 splash, and 35 healing directly and 25 splash. Now, he gains a new passive. Direct hits drop Scrap if you attack an enemy, and Scrap is used for upgrades. So, you shoot an enemy with a direct hit, not only base game before any upgrades do you do 30 damage to them, they also drop 1 Scrap. Now, going into the creation system, which is a total rework of his right click. It starts off with 2 charges. You can either place a floor or a wall creation, but you can have at max 2 of one kind. You have to be within 20 meters of a wall or floor to place the creations. Each creation takes 1 second to be functional, but during that 1 second cannot be damaged. So this isn't a situation where you instantly get healed by them or other effects it gives. It does take a second to actually build up. Now, the floor creation, describing the creations now. The floor creation, the radius is 6 meters. Its base healing, which it heals in that 6 meters in, is 30 healing per second and 10 damage per second to enemies. The upgraded version, which you can upgrade, 40 healing per second and 15 damage per second to enemies. Now, the wall creation, its range is a little longer at 12 meters, double the range. Its base is 25 shield per second with a 5% damage boost to all allies. Its upgraded version is 35 shield per second and 8% damage boost. So in terms of sustain and its base gameplay, while the floor creation does have 6 less meters to work with, it does do 5 more sustain than the wall creation. Plus the wall creation will be much more weak and susceptible to damage from enemies. Now here are the creation rules. Maximum of 2 floor and 2 wall creations. You can have a max of 2 per creation. Now creations cannot stack in the same location, meaning you cannot have 2 wall creations right next to each other giving you double the benefits. No, these do not stack, so you need to place them throughout where you want to defend or attack. Same with the floor creations, they do not stack, so you need to place them around. Each creation has 150 health, but to counteract that, the hitboxes are pretty small. Imagine Rocket Raccoon, the wall and floor creations where you can actually shoot them are about a fourth of his size. Now, the cooldown is 10 seconds, but starts off with 2 charges and can build up to 2 after 20 seconds. Rocket can recall creations, recalled or damaged creations regenerate at 25 health per second. So it takes about 6 seconds to fully recharge a creation. And if you pick, let's say, one up at 100 health, one at 50 health, it'll again take 6 seconds to recharge both of them. You have to wait, if you recall multiple of them, to recharge all of them at once, not one at a time if you pick up multiple in a row. Now, the scrap system, aka scrap gain, earned from direct hits only from Rocket's new primary. Either he or his teammates need to pick them up to put in his inventory. They kind of look like armor packs on the ground, but more bronzy looking. Now, here are the costs. Rocket can now set up a small workstation to begin upgrading and creating more of his designs, like Deadpool's book. The workshop will be about his size. He'll kind of be like sitting in a chair, working on his bench, kind of like in the movies. If you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he kind of works with batteries, works with kind of there's bombs he gets at the beginning of the movie. That's not really important though. But he uses different things. He creates different things. things, he is a creator. He should be creating a lot of things. Now, for 15 scrap, aka 15 direct hits, you can either get one more floor creation, one more wall creation, you can upgrade the floor creation, and you can upgrade the wall creation, each costing 15. There is a max of 2, again, let me repeat, a max of 2 wall creations you can have, and a max of 2 floor creations you can have. After finishing those upgrades, the final upgrade appears for 35 scrap. This is meant to be very late game. Primary damage of his left click goes from 30 for direct hits and 20 for splash to 35 damage and 25 splash, and this inverse them for healing as well. Ultimate damage boost also goes up from 25% to 30. Now, just a side note right now, his ult right now does do 40% damage boost, but with the damage boost in his base kit, that will kind of offset that. So it would lower his ult damage increase from 40 to 25, which he can then raise to 30%, since he can give an 8% damage boost to his teammates. So that 30% could be 38%. It's a small nerf overall, but still pretty good. And all upgrades are permanent and persist through death. So it's not a case where you die and lose everything. It's kind of like Deadpool. All the upgrades stay with you, but the only thing that's kind of limiting you is that even though, let's say you unlock everything and have 2 wall, 2 floor creations, you can only have and load up 2 creations at a time. So if you just die, your creations also do go away. So that means you can place 2, but then you have to wait another 20 seconds to place the other 2. He is a much more defensive rather than offensive type of support now, which matches. We already have too many of offensive supports. What I just talked about a little bit, his ultimate adjustment, the damage boost is reduced from 40% to 25%, but again, can be upgraded with the final upgrade, bringing that 25% to a 30%, and with another wall creation, a 38%. Now, that is a lot of information right there. You can rewatch this as many times as you want. You can look at the captions, look at all that, the transcript, whatever. I know this is a much more complicated redesign and rework, of Rocket Raccoon than what a lot of people implement. A lot of people try to do it lazy way. I try to do a lot of things in creative way, like you'll see with my Sandman creation tomorrow, which I made him from completely scratch, did fun mechanics and all that. But with this specific Rocket Raccoon rework, I am trying to put more skill expression in his gameplay, make him actually more like Rocket Raccoon. He's building things. He's actually in character. He keeps what makes him as a core character, like his wall running and his res beacon, which I really like. I think that is a must for his kit, other than it's another creation. He does have other creations. Let's say Star-Lord teleport. He has a creation with Mr. Fantastic with his elasticity, but nothing really with himself other than his res beacon. But now with this, not only does he have an incentive to attack the enemy team and not just stand back, he's giving his own team the incentive to work with him and have team synergy to, hey, go get that scrap that I'm making so I can help you more. You help me, I help you. It's a much more symbiotic relationship, especially with like tank and support, because tank is going to be on the front line no matter what, really, in most cases, or at least hopefully in your games. But the tanks, let's say a thing is on the enemy team and there's a strange on your team. You, as a rocket with this new primary, keep pounding and keep bursting that thing, because other than the damage, you keep getting scrap dropped on the ground. And your strange is like, okay, let me grab this one, grab this one, grab this one. Sure, this rocket can't really kill anything on his own. He'll probably lose against dives if he has nothing up and it's just his primary, but with his wall creations, with his floor creation, which can stack, by the way, it's just wall and wall that can't stack and floor than floor that can't stack, but wall and floor can stack. He can place one of those or both of those in the backline to protect him and his other support. That's his self-sustain, but his creations are best used on his own team, not just his backline. Especially if there's not a dive comp, you definitely want to find a way to do it. And it kind of is like his ult, which is you need to place it in a good spot or else it will get shredded, and that's like, well, why did you do that? Why are you throwing? Why aren't you really playing well? So this really enables strategy, which I think should be what the strategists are in Marvel Rivals. Loki is a good example of that. If you're bad at setting up, you'll feel useless. If you're amazing at setting up, you'll feel amazing. Now with this Rocket rework, you will definitely feel like you're doing something. You'll feel like you're strategizing. I like strategists, which, you know, actually strategize. And this Rocket rework, before where you're kind of watching everyone else play the game while you heal, and if you try to do damage, your team will just get bursted down, because even though you're healing it's sustaining, it's horrible if you take a break, and if you decide to not hold right click anymore, well, guess what? Your team's gonna die. If you try to do damage, your team's gonna die. Now, the healing, even though it's kind of like auto like before, and you don't need to actually focus on the healing aspect, you do need to realize that you need to set up perfectly, or at least set up well at minimum, to actually get value. You can't place the wall creation creation next to the enemy. You can't place the floor creation in front of your tanks. You need to strategize on what works best for your team, for your comp. I mean, with his long range, you can even help out the dives on your team by placing a wall creation on the enemy backline. And while they either try to deal with that or the dives, imagine a Black Panther or a Spider-Man with an 8% damage boost attacking your backline. That might not seem like a lot right now, but trust me, that is about a fourth of Rocket's ult, and you know how much that is. I'll wrap the video up by saying this system heavily skews to strategy, team synergy, and overall a higher skill gap and skill expression with Rocket Raccoon. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. See ya.